sort of bombshell that having been told for many months, even years, that the North Koreans were years away from being able to miniaturize a nuclear weapon enough to put it on the warhead of a missile,
right,
which is something that you have to do to be able to fire it. Suddenly, the classified report was accidentally read and marked unclassified, and we're told that maybe moderate confidence that they can do that. And now John Kerry, the Secretary of State, again today saying, well, actually, we don't believe they can do that. Where the heck are we?
We do believe it, and let me clarify that by my experience. In '93, this is like 20 years, it's like deja vu all over again. In '93, I was in Seoul working this issue, and back then it was Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-il was just getting ready to take over from his father. Same sort of thing, trying to prove to its people that they're a mighty threat, and oh, by the way, we're trying to protect you from the bad Westerners in the South because we get your best interest at heart. With that said, Jonathan, on the military side, we waited 4 years to tell the American people back in the 90s, and you just had a Clinton administration official on it, which you could have asked him this question. They made the policy decision to not tell the American people the North Koreans had a weapon of mass destruction, a nuclear weapon, for 4 years. So we knew at the classified level when I was working all this that they had weapons. So, my goodness sake, we've recognized, Jonathan, over the past 3 years, the blasts that they have tested are going smaller. That tells me that they are trying to miniaturize. We've talked about this. And more importantly, for a nuclear weapon, hand grenades and nuclear weapons don't have to be all that accurate to prove a point. So clearly, they are a credible threat. And the third piece of this, which I haven't seen the mainstream media pick up on at all, and one of our biggest vulnerabilities, as well as our allies in the South and in Japan, is electromagnetic pulse. You don't even have to hit a target to be effective in taking out the electromagnetic infrastructure of an adversary. You take down the entire electronic backbone of the Japanese and the South Koreans. And oh, by the way, the North Koreans really don't have one that they have to worry about.
But, so, all right, but if I was a cynic, Colonel, I would take a look at this and say, well, hold on a minute, the miniaturization thing. They told us for a long time that they can't do it. They suddenly leak a report, well, not leak it, but suddenly a classified report accidentally gets stamped unclassified, accidentally gets read out on the floor of the House, and suddenly they're telling us they can do it. I mean, call me a cynic, but I'm looking back at 2003 thinking, wait, WMD all over again? I mean, really, I think, I'm not saying that it's not true, but I am saying that given what we went through 10 years ago, we, as citizens and as journalists, have a duty to ask questions. What do we really know? Tell me the truth.
All right, truth as I understand it, and you know I'm not the biggest fan of Defense Intelligence Agency because of my conflict with them. I think they're telling the truth here. I think there's internal reports from what I've heard that indicate that they have been making great progress in miniaturization. Now, let's keep in mind, Jonathan, for a nuclear weapon, the fusing is the key. The key is once you put this thing on top, you get it up in the air. How do you make it blow up when you want it to blow up? That is clearly the technology challenge here, something they've been working. Now, I will say this. They've had advisors from the Iranian government as well as the Russian government present for all of their tests. So there is clearly cooperation, and with this cooperation, there's likely progress. So I'm just saying, that, and I agree generally with what the step back is here, is like, well, they're probably not ready to use it operationally. I would agree with that.
Right.
The other thing I would say here, Jonathan, is I would want them to shoot the missiles. I disagree with Secretary of State Kerry. It's like, fire the missiles. That gives us telemetry data on what they can and cannot do. That's a clue. So I would basically say, hey, if you want to shoot the missiles, no big deal. Understand this. If you fire something with a nuclear weapon or you do something that actually hits a target, then there will be consequences. And this is where we need to break the key. We've always done the same thing in the past. We basically talk big and don't have a response. In this case, we have to clearly define what that response is going to be, and if they do something to cross the line, you use what's necessary to back them down.